Welcome to the NPC Energy Podcast. You're probably listening because, well, the standard story of reality feels maybe a bit off. Doesn't quite fit. Today, we're heading off on a simulated journey, exploring this really weird, kind of fun idea that's been popping up online.
Yeah.
What if telepathy isn't a superpower, but more like terrible Wi-Fi between brains?
Exactly. And for this particular simulated journey, we're drawing from, anonymous sources. Think Reddit threads late at night, Discord chats, that kind of thing.
Right, spitballing ideas.
Yeah, just spitballing. Plus, we've lightly touched on some, let's say, limited scientific work that kind of skirts around brain-to-brain communication, just the edges.
So our mission, if you will, on this simulated journey is to unpack this whole idea. It's often pretty funny, actually.
It is.
We want to look at where it comes from in pop culture, check out any faint hints of science, and they are faint, and really get into some listener stories that make you go, okay, maybe.
Yeah, it's about taking those whispers from the digital ether and looking at them with an open mind, but maybe a little bit of a critical eye, too.
Definitely not trying to prove telepathy exists here.
Oh, no, not at all. Just exploring the weird possibilities, thinking about the brain in ways that aren't exactly mainstream.
Okay, let's kick off this simulated journey. Segment 1. The sci-fi dream, a.k.a. the X-Men syndrome. I mean, telepathy is everywhere in fiction, right?
Totally. It's a classic.
You got Jean Grey doing, well, everything with her mind. Professor X.
Listening in.
Yeah. 11 in Stranger Things facing down monsters mentally. Even Aquaman chatting with dolphins.
That's telepathy too, technically. Ordering lobster with your mind, that's the dream.
Huh. It really does tap into something, though, doesn't it? This idea of perfect communication.
It does. Imagine just knowing, no misunderstandings, no awkward phrasing.
Exactly. Just pure thought transfer. Efficient.
Almost utopian, yeah. But then fiction also shows us the downside.
Oh, definitely. Mind control, that's terrifying.
The ultimate violation.
And all that paranoia about, government experiments, M-Culture back in the 70s, the LSD stuff. Always asking if you could, weaponize thought.
And we should definitely acknowledge that unsettling side of it in fiction. The fear of someone else being in your head.
Yeah, that loss of privacy.
Right. So pop culture gives us both the amazing potential and the really scary possibilities.
All right, let's switch it up. Segment 2. Brain signals actual science. Sort of. And let's be super clear here. We are not saying science has proven X-Men style telepathy. Not even close.
No, definitely not. But it's interesting to look at what is happening in our heads.
Okay, so what do we know?
Well, fundamentally, your brain's this massive network, kind of like 86 billion neurons, all firing off electrical signals to each other.
It's like a biological internet in there.
Kind of, yeah. A huge, complex electrochemical conversation.
And those electrical signals, they actually create electromagnetic fields, right? Tiny ones, but measurable.
Incredibly weak fields, yes.
Yeah.
Think static electricity, not a lightning bolt. But they are there. And that's the tiny thread, the really speculative link people sometimes make to wireless communication.
So have scientists actually tried to, send thoughts?
Well, they've explored brain-to-brain communication using technology as a go-between. There's that 2014 study, Dr. Carles Grau in Barcelona.
Oh, yeah. I remember hearing about this. It was pretty wild.
It was. They had someone in India think a simple word.
Hola, wasn't it? Just hello.
That's the one. They recorded the brain activity using EEG, those sensors on the scalp. Then they sent that data over the internet to France.
Okay.
And in France, another person received the signal via TMS, transcranial magnetic stimulation, basically using magnets to stimulate brain cells.
So did the person in France just hear hola in their head?
No, not like that.
No.
It wasn't auditory. Their brain was stimulated in a way that they could recognize a pattern, a flash of light maybe, that corresponded to the original thought.
Okay. So the tech was the bridge. It translated brain activity into a signal the other brain could perceive. Sort of.
Exactly. The technology did the heavy lifting.
But okay, this is the big what if, isn't it? If tech can bridge that gap, even in a super basic way, could our brains maybe, possibly, have once had a natural built-in way to do something similar, even if it's really, really bad at it now?
Yeah.
We forgot how.
That's the million-dollar speculative question, right? It's a huge leap.
Totally speculative.
But that's what makes these ideas kind of fun to kick around. If the basic hardware is there, the electrical signals, maybe some super weak field. Could there be some latent, glitchy communication channel? Are we all just walking around with mental dial-up modems from 1995?
Which actually is the perfect segue. Segment 3. The theory, Bad Wi-Fi, bad connections. This is where we get into the core idea from those anonymous online chats.
The digital water cooler stuff.
Yeah. The theory isn't that telepathy is this amazing power. It's that it might be a real ability, but it's just broken. Seriously unreliable.
Like having Bluetooth built in, but it's running on ancient buggy software?
Exactly. The connection keeps dropping, the signal is weak. Maybe it only works if you stand on one leg facing north.
Right. You try to send a mental hey to someone across the room.
Then all they get is maybe a weird feeling, or you just make awkward eye contact.
Or absolutely nothing. Signal lost.
Total packet loss.
And you could playfully try to explain other weird stuff this way, too. Like déjà vu.
Oh yeah, that uncanny feeling.
Maybe it's like a brain lag, a momentary echo, or maybe you accidentally picked up a stray thought fragment from someone else on the network. A cross signal.
Like picking up your neighbor's baby monitor on your walkie-talkie.
Kind of. Or shared dreams. People talk about that online a lot.
The idea that maybe when we sleep, our brains connect to some shared thing.
A real-time LAN party for brains, as someone put it.
But the connection's terrible, the graphics are glitchy, and your alarm clock logs you out without warning.
It's a fun way to think about weird dream stuff anyway. And then there's the idea that maybe strong emotions boost the signal.
Ah, the 4G feelings idea.
Right. You're thinking intensely about someone you haven't heard from in ages.
And boom, they text you like 5 minutes later.
Coincidence. Maybe. Or maybe that emotional energy just gave your crappy mental Wi-Fi a temporary boost, enough to ping their receiver.
It's less mind reading and more like occasional fuzzy mental notifications.
Exactly. Glitchy push notifications for the brain.
Okay, so we've done the sci-fi, the sort of science, the theory itself. Let's get into segment 4, real-world glitches and listener stories. This is the anecdotal stuff, right? From the NPC ENERGY Neural Archive.
Our highly unscientific but fascinating collection. And yeah, important to stress, these are just stories people shared, not proof of anything.
Absolutely. But they're interesting. We had one listener, username at Flat Earth Daddy, again, just a handle, no judgment on their worldview.
Right.
They said they and their cousin, like, constantly say the exact same obscure lines at the exact same time. Not common stuff, but weird quotes from old movies nobody else gets.
Happens way too often to feel like chance for them.
Yeah, they feel it's beyond coincidence.
That kind of synchronicity where it feels too specific, that's the stuff that makes people think, okay, maybe there is some weird connection.
Like their mental frequencies just lock onto the same channel for a second.
A very specific weird channel.
Then there was, at Sleep Paralysis Stand, they told us about a really vivid dream where a close friend was just sobbing, really distressed.
Okay.
Woke up feeling awful, reached out to the friend. And yeah, the friend confirmed they had been having a major emotional breakdown right around that time.
Wow. Okay. That's the kind of thing that sticks with you.
Right. Makes you wonder about some kind of subconscious distress signal. A sad telepathic hotline, maybe.
Again, impossible to verify scientifically as things stand, but these stories definitely tap into that feeling of deep, sometimes inexplicable connection we have with others. Maybe our inner lives are more tangled up than we usually think.
So that brings us to the end at segment 5, the patch notes. Where does this simulated journey leave us? What's the takeaway?
Well, the central question remains, doesn't it? Are we maybe stumbling towards unlocking some kind of dormant communication ability?
Or is it all just complex biology, coincidence, and maybe a few glitches in our simulated reality?
The bad Wi-Fi theory leans towards the first, but frames it differently. It suggests maybe telepathy isn't impossible, it's just buggy.
The hardware's there, but the software needs a serious update. Or maybe a firmware flash.
Right. The biological tech is unreliable, it glitches.
Which leads to those funny, totally unsupported ideas online about boosting the signal.
Oh, yeah. Does meditation clear the static?
Do certain substances temporarily upgrade your bandwidth?
Yeah.
Though we are definitely not recommending that.
Absolutely not. Or, is it all about perfecting your tinfoil hat alignment for better reception?
Gotta optimize the antenna.
It's all very speculative and mostly tongue-in-cheek. But the core idea is interesting.
Yeah, we're not saying you can read minds now.
Not at all. But maybe, just maybe, our minds occasionally leave little glitchy voicemails for each other. Or experience tiny moments of connection we don't fully understand.
It's something to think about as you go about your day, definitely.
For sure.
Well, thanks for tuning in and joining us on this trip through the Cognitive Cloud Network.
Yeah, thanks everyone.
And hey, next time you and a friend say the same weird thing at once, or you get that sudden uncanny feeling,
yeah,
maybe it's not you going crazy. Maybe it's just a bit of lag in the system.
Stay weird, stay glitched, and yeah, always remember to reboot your meat router.
This has been NPC Energy. Welcome to the glitch, baby.
See you in the next patch.